because I'm 100% focused on the tariffs. I've never once heard any American, no matter if it's Republican or Democrat, ever say Canada's the problem. If he deports, as he says, thousands of people, they don't start heading up to the Canadian border. The president will make them a counteroffer. How about if we buy Alaska and we'll throw in Minnesota and Minneapolis at the same time? I don't care if they're from the Orange Party, the Green Party, the Red Party, the Blue Party. I'm going to do what's in the best interest of Ontario. Canada's not the problem. The problem is China shipping in cheap goods into Mexico, Mexico slapping a made in Mexico sticker on and shipping those goods up through the US and Canada, costing Canadian and American jobs. That's unacceptable. And as I've always said, if we have to go it alone with the US, so be it. And if we have to do another deal with Mexico, so be it. But we have to make sure that we protect the jobs of Canadians.
Does that mean you don't want to have an early election?
Well, Rob, I can tell you right now what I'm focused on right this second, and for moving forward, is making sure that we don't have tariffs. And God forbid, President-elect Trump gets in there and puts tariffs. We have to retaliate. We have to retaliate hard against our friends south of the border, which is unfortunate. And I always say we have to build a fortress Can-Am, Canadian and Americans sticking together in these tough times around the world. And they are tough times around the world right now. But there's no better ally and friend we want to partner up with than the Americans.
You had a couple of leads that perhaps a meeting with
Yes.
US President Donald Trump was in the offing.
That's right.
Did that materialize? And if not, what happened?
Well, it hasn't yet, but I'll tell you, President Trump is well aware of Ontario and myself. He knows how important this relationship is. He has many CEOs of large corporations in the U.S. He has many congresspeople and senators and governors telling him he needs to sit down and have a conversation, because I have to inform him, and that's the reason behind the ads, to inform Americans how important of an ally and friend Ontario is, how important it is, critical minerals for the military. And speaking of military, we still expect the Prime Minister to meet the 2% NATO commitment and making sure that they secure the border. They came out with a plan. The plan is good, but now we need to see action on the plan to secure our border. And that's on both sides of the border, by the way. It's not just the Canadian border, it's the American border. We do have concerns if he deports, as he says, thousands of people, they don't start heading up to the Canadian border.
Now, a merger between Canada and the United States, you have dismissed that as a joke. At what point do you say that that's no longer a laughing matter and something that should be taken with quite a bit of seriousness?
Well, I know under my watch for Ontario, it'd never be for that at all. We have the greatest country in the world. We have the greatest province anywhere. Any sub-sovereign nation is Ontario, and the rest of the provinces as well.
Do you think he's joking?
You know something? To the president, I'll make him a counteroffer. How about if we buy Alaska and we'll throw in Minnesota and Minneapolis at the same time? So, it's not realistic. I know he likes making these comments and he likes joking around. I take that seriously. He may be joking, but under my watch, that will never, ever happen. when there's uncertainty around the world, and the whole world has heard the news, we need to make sure that the premiers step up to make sure that the people of Canada and Ontario from coast to coast to coast understand that we have their backs. The system's still going to continue to move. We're still going to attract investments here in Ontario and across the country. The oil in Alberta is still going to move. The electricity is still going to move south of the border, and our critical minerals will as well, along with all our goods that we manufacture here in Ontario. We're the third largest trading partner in the world, Ontario is, to the U.S. And Canada obviously is number one in the world, but we have to continue making sure the flow of goods go across the border back and forth without any tariffs. That's the way our system is built. It's a democracy. He'll be on for, again, no one knows exactly how long, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. But this is when all Canadians step up. This is when our provincial and territorial leaders step up, and our municipal leaders step up to make sure that we send a message to the whole world that we're open for business. We're going to continue to be open for business and attract new investments because, again, we have the greatest country in the entire world. There's no other place that can compare to Canada, no other place that can compare to Ontario. I don't care if they're from the Orange Party, the Green Party, the Red Party, the Blue Party. I'm going to do what's in the best interest of Ontario. Yes, we've had some really, really good deals for the people of Ontario. We worked together in the pandemic, as we all did, right across this country. So I always look at positive things that we've done, and we'll continue to do positive projects with a new government as they come in, or the new Prime Minister, whoever that might be.
Do you prefer Chrystia Freeland, who's a good friend of yours, or Dominic LeBlanc, who's another good friend of yours?
Yeah, they're both really good people. I'm going to leave that up to the Liberal Party. I'm going to be focused and zoned in on the tariffs from the U.S. I'm going to continue trying to get a meeting with President-elect Trump to inform him. There's nothing better than sitting across from someone, looking at him in the eyes and telling him, number one, what a great trading partner Ontario is, what a great trading partner Canada is. And it's just going to hurt jobs on both sides of the economy. And we could rattle off all the great areas and different sectors that we work hand in hand with. Again, we are so much stronger together than we are apart. And that's my message to the President and all elected officials down in the U.S. But we'll keep you abreast of what's going on. We will not take our eye off the ball, any of the premiers, and we'll move forward during these turbulent times federally.